Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for today. Father God, before we ask for anything, we want to show you gratitude for everything that you've already done. Thank you for all the blessings that you've already bestowed upon us. Thank you for the protection that you've already been providing us. Thank you for the ways that you've already made for us. And we ask that you continue to do so and clear a path for everything that we have in mind for ourselves. And if what we have in mind for ourselves doesn't align with what you have for us, gracefully redirect us. Father, I ask that you provide guidance for any young men or men in general who needs community right now, who needs to feel like they belong. Push them in a direction that will serve you. Push them in a direction that will so that you can get the glory out of whatever they do. Help them find a community that's for them and keep them away from the communities that will lead to their demise. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
If you lazy, you waking up at fucking 3 o'clock in the afternoon and shit like that,
Popping bottles,
you're setting the tone for everybody because you're the leader.
popping pills,
That's just what comes with being a man.
popping bitch ass niggas.
I don't want nobody making decisions over my life except me. Not a woman, not a judge, not an officer, not no motherfucker body.
When them bullets hit him up, look like son had a seizure. Run up, give it up, you know the procedure. I be sipping Jack and honey.
I don't think nothing can make me feel like a man. I don't think nothing can make me not feel like a man.
Chains on my collar.
You can't take the benefits of being a man without the responsibilities.
Give you niggas halos on God in the king.
Welcome back to another episode of Roses Are Dead. I'm still Terry Roseland.
I'm still Sober Jones.
You are not sober, sir. Not at all. Not at all.
Why did I say that? Why did I say that?
How's your week, man?
My week been cool. Matter of fact, today, my week been real good. I got some good news. I ain't never heard of a company, G, that will let you come in their office and just follow their people around and learn the job. Like, shout out to I don't even know if I can say it. She just fucking senior regional manager. Shout out to Cisco, man. She hit me up this morning. She texted me like, yo, if you want to pull up to the office, because as y'all know, I'm on track to be a solutions engineer, or it might be an account executive, and I'll explain that later. But she hit me up. Yo, if you want to pull up to the office, come up here. You know what I'm saying? It's another solution engineer that worked there. She's like, you can kind of like watch him do some demos or whatever the case may be. And just come kick it with us. So I'm like, bet, cool. So that's what I was doing. And that's where I just came from. So if I got like a little slur, that's why they like to drink. And I got I meet with somebody, the vice president of Salesforce tomorrow. So got some good news this week. It's been cool.
Shout out to that, man. That's dope. That's dope.
Yeah. My nigga.
Steps closer.
Oh, yeah.
Steps closer.
It's finna be up. It look like it's going to be a good summer.
Oh,
a good
man.
life. Fuck that.
My week was pretty good. I got a haircut. I'm happy about that. Shout out to me. We pretty much locked in everything for Rose Gold.
It's looking good.
The food. Shout out to Soul Food Creations, donating the food. We got the appointment for the guys to get manicures and to get their suits tailored. That's coming up. We got DJs, we got photographers, videographers. We got a white rose wall, a wall full of white roses.
Shout out to my mama.
It's gonna be amazing. We got some roses to give away and things like that. So it's gonna be a great time, man. And doing events are stressful as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
This one is turning out great, and I'm proud of y'all. I appreciate y'all for all of the help. We got the merch. We got everything. It's gonna be dope.
Compared to last year, is this a little bit more seamless?
No. No. Absolutely not. I think last year might have been a little easier because it didn't have the kids involved.
True that.
For sure. Next year, do we need to bring the kids? Or do we just need to like just throw the event and get the money to the kids?
That's a good question. We can revisit that.
Shout out to the kids, man. But
we can see how that work out.
Yeah. And I think it's causing a lot of confusion around that event too. People still asking like, is it about kids? Are kids gonna be like, people still don't get it. So But shout out to Rose Go. That's gonna be March 30th. It's gonna start at 6 o'clock. We're gonna acknowledge the kids. It's from 7 to 8. 8 o'clock is gonna be like the New Year's Eve ball drop and shake that ass time.
Yes.
All right, we all gonna take a fat ass shot, and that's probably the month that I'm gonna remember.
A real stupid, goofy shot.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Other ting that, not reading no voicemails today. Patreon, we got a few things to talk about. We didn't talk about the death at Southern University last time, so we got to talk about that. Today's topic leads right into that.
Community.
Anything else that we gonna talk about in Patreon today?
Yeah, we gonna talk about how they treated me about monologues.
They treated you bad?
I don't like y'all, and I'm gonna get on y'all ass behind the scenes.
What they say with your monologue?
I'm not. That's Patreon.
mean,
that's for the Patreon wall.
I get that.
I'm
I
on
get
y'all
that.
ass.
All right, cool. Well, Jones dropped his first monologue on Patreon. I thought it was pretty cool. I mean, it was. It was some. I don't know, but it was good though. It was a good. It was a good message. Great message.
It's good. It was good
Delivery. I don't know. Message was pretty solid though.
And it's so funny. I had no clue that y'all would even say something like that. Like I dead ass rolled out the bed. I'm talking about I my alarm went off. I rolled out the bed. I didn't even cut no lights on.
Yeah.
I went straight to my desk, plugged my mic up. I ain't do shit.
I think Jones is the favorite on the pod. I think he the favorite.
You said if you'd have did that.
Huh?
What'd you say if you'd have did that? What?
No. I think you the favorite because when I posted it, like if they're in Patreon and they're not on the tier to hear whatever we post, they can get a preview of it, but they can't listen to the whole thing.
Yeah.
Hella people jump tier when that shit post. They like
Jones posted the Patreon.
I'm like, I done posted 100 monologues. Y'all niggas was cool with not hearing none of that shit. This nigga posted monologue, motherfuckers upgrading the tier. They like, nah, I pay an extra month for this shit. Like, God damn, G. Like, I've been here for years. The fuck is going on? This how Moses felt about Jesus. Like, nigga, I've been here. I was here first. The fuck is going on? This nigga
That's
Jesus
a fact.
slide. It's over. Like, niggas forget about everybody. Shit's crazy, man.
That's real.
That's fucked up, man.
But look, look. It's gonna be 6 weeks till y'all ass get another one.
For sure,
But nah.
for sure. All right, let's jump into this topic, man. The topic of this week, we're not gonna do no voicemail this week, but the topic of this week right now, man, community.
Mm-hmm.
Black men needing community, black men longing for community, and we don't have a lot of it. I always talk about how when I was in London, there were everywhere I went, every breakfast, every brunch, dinner, hookah bar, whatever, there were groups of men together, just like fellowshipping.
Mm-hmm.
In the club. No women. They not shooting a shot at women. They just hanging out. Guys don't really do that here. Like we fellowship sometimes, maybe if you in a frat or some shit, but typically if I say, hey bro, let's go to the bar, right? We either going to J on chicks or we're going with chicks.
Yeah, for sure.
If that wasn't the case, niggas would be like, why are we going to the bar? like is it your birthday? The fuck is we going to the bar for? Like, what are you talking about? Like if I was to say, hey, let's all go out to dinner, niggas gonna be like, for what?
Right. What's happening?
Like, what's happening?
What's this fucking occasion?
Right? So who gonna be there? So we don't have that here, but we do have it in the form of gangs.
Mm-hmm.
We have it in the form of fraternities, and for a lot of men, we have it in the form of church.
Yeah.
There's a lot of pros to those. There's some cons to those. There's some ramifications to those. Mm-hmm. And we're gonna talk about all three, right?
Yeah.
Is there anything I'm missing?
As far as
Y'all got any
different types of
communities that men become a part of?
Yeah, sports, fitness, and like
do we look over
wellness
that?
communities, like run clubs and shit like that. Those are communities. And I feel like
Okay,
niggas
that's fairly
niggas
more new.
join.
The
There you go,
barbershop.
barbershop. Definitely.
For sure.
Hey, wait a minute, hold up, nigga. McDonald's. Them old niggas be in there.
Oh, the McDonald's with the chessboard built on
Yes.
the table? They be in that bitch. They be
No,
in
that shit is still happening.
95th McDonald's, they still be in there. They still be in there. Hosted.
Wait, what they doing?
They got chessboards on the McDonald's table.
It's the chest. It's not the McDonald's, it's the chest.
It's in. They hosting this
Them
shit
niggas
in
can buy their own
McDonald's.
chessboards.
Right.
They want to get that dollar coffee out.
Right. Exactly.
They want to get their own. They want to get that dollar coffee.
That's a fact. They be dead serious about that dollar coffee.
Yeah,
They
for
been
sure.
doing that shit since 09. Well, probably before that.
That coffee ass at McDonald's.
Export?
Yup, 95th.
Yep. So 95th is just the chess block. The fuck?
I gotta pull up.
Hey, so
Test my skills.
So okay, it's a couple I missed. Sports definitely one. Because I feel like niggas on a basketball team, niggas on a football team in high school, a nigga could not be getting tick and still be proud that he's just on the football team. Like you might play more football if you wasn't on the football team. You might have time to actually play if you wasn't on the fucking bench all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like, but nigga throw that jacket on, it's lit, right?
And just to fitness communities and more so them bar niggas, bro. The calisthenic niggas, that's a community.
The calisthenics niggas is a community. The red pill community is a community.
It's a toxic one, but
yeah. I don't think I thought of those because they're not like even run clubs is all fairly new, and I don't know if they're like a fad.
Okay.
Right? Like this shit might come and go. Like the gym bro shit is a fad, the calisthenics. Not saying that niggas worked out before, but the gym bro shit is a fad, the calisthenics shit is a fad, the run clubs is. I'm not saying they are fads, but they're so new that we don't know. Like religion, gangs, and fraternities been around for 100 fucking years. Like you know what I'm saying?
That's
like,
top 3.
Yeah, so I think so. I want to. We can talk about the other ones, but I do want to focus on the ones that's just always been here, right? And I missed. Well, is masonry is that considered fraternity? It is considered fraternity. Yeah, so I want to talk about those. I want to do fraternity last because that's gonna bleed into the Patreon with the young man that was killed at Southern. Yeah. So let's start off with gangs.
Yes.
Some of the good and the bad. Why are a lot of black men running there for the sense of community, the sense of belonging, and things like that?
I was doing some research, and the number one reason for community, I believe it popped up as survival and protection. Right. So when you talk about gangs, that's the overall perception is when you join a gang, you know what I'm saying, your survival kind of like rate increases and you get an abundance of protection, you know what I'm saying, because you're part of a particular gang, or whatever the case may be. And so like that's okay. That's actually, if you just look at it surface level, you joined this gang for survival and protection. Nothing's wrong with that. But it kind of bleeds, like when you start to dig deeper into what gangs are today, that's where gangs have a negative connotation today. Like if you think about like the Black Panther party and everything, like they formed that quote unquote gang for protection from police brutality.
Right.
And you know what I'm saying, providing resource to their community and all of that. Like that's okay.
Yeah.
But now, like if you join a gang, it's like, you know, you think of the YNs, you think of destruction, you think of, you know, black on black crime, y'all killing each other. Now the survival and protection is from one another. Yeah. Like I'm trying to survive and be protected from my brother. You know, so.
I know it's some people right now that just reacted to you calling the Black Panther Party a gang in a probably a way, right? Because we don't want to quote unquote reduce it to a gang, but at the same time, you think about the Black Panther Party and how it started. You think about Gangster Disciples and how they started. It wasn't that different. Yeah. You think about the Blackstone, Black Peace Stone, right? They got some fucking names. Yeah.
Don't fuck it up.
When you think about them niggas and how they started, it wasn't that different. Like providing things for the community, hot lunch, protection from the police, all of these things. And you know, things changed, things shifted when crack got pushed into the scene. And they became what we know now as gangs. When they at first were organizations, community organizations, right? Yeah. So I know what you meant by that, and I just know people might take that and run with it. However, I think that when we talk about gangs and we talk about what they were back then, I do think it was some protection involved. I do think a lot of it was some pure pressure. I think a lot of it was in our era, a lot of like mystique. You know what I'm saying? It was kind of cool. Yeah. At the end of the day, like you could be somebody who kind of sat in a position where you wasn't really in danger like that. You didn't have ops. You just wanted to be GD. Like you wanted to get your right ear pierced. You wanted to put the blue shoestrings in your black Air Force Ones. Like it was kind of like a mystique, and it was the people who you looked up to in the neighborhood. I think that the crazy trade-off with the whole thought of being protected while being in a gang is like how much danger are you actually putting yourself in at the same time. And I'm also thinking about how you kind of lose sight of self-preservation, right? So today I went to work. I'm not gonna say where, but I went to work at a high school. And when I went to that high school, some of the kids that I work with there was telling me there was a fight yesterday. It's like this big ass brawl. And it just so happened that a lot of the guys I worked with was a part of it. Like, or I had friends that was a part of it. And they all had different stories of it. You know, some of them was in it, some of them wasn't. Some of them lied and told me they wasn't in it. Next thing I know, they getting suspended. You know what I'm saying? So after they ran the cameras back. But one of them, you know, I'm talking to him and I'm like, you know, is this avoidable? Like, right, these are your friends. Because this is how a lot of gangs start now. Like, it's not about GD, BD, all that shit. It's about, like, kind of like cliques.
Mm-hmm.
But there's really no difference once y'all click up and y'all take action against another group and then y'all call yourself whatever. We on Call of Duty, we call ourselves 4K Trey on Call of Duty. So now we at school calling ourselves 4K Trey. We at school calling ourselves Dipset. We at school calling ourselves State Property and all this other dumb shit. You a gang. You know what I'm saying? Y'all is a group of niggas that's violent and y'all into it with them niggas and y'all got a name. You're a fucking gang at the end of the day. Right? So I'm asking him, like, is this shit avoidable? And he like, no. And I'm like, why is it not avoidable? He like, I was right there. Niggas hit my homie. What could I do? And I was like, I would never fault you for reacting that way, like in the moment. But if they call you and say, hey, after school, we finna slide up here to 79th and fight these niggas, do this. What is your reaction to that? Is that avoidable? And he like, well, them my homies, woo. It's like, when you graduate, y'all not from the same hood. Y'all go to the same high school. Y'all not from the same hood.
Facts.
Y'all not family. Y'all not none of that. 2 years after you graduate from the school, it'd probably be 2 years since you've seen these niggas. Whatever your GPA is, whether you got expelled, whatever consequences come from you going this route is going to be permanent. These people that you go on this route with are temporary. And the consequences of your actions as a group will be taken out individually. So if your homie threw the first punch, beat up the nigga, whatever, and he got a 3.7 GPA, and you was barely fighting and got a 1.7 GPA, you're going to get kicked the fuck out of school. Like, that 3.7 going to look good walking across the stage. They're going to give him some grace. The consequences are individual. You might have a nigga, we all in this gang, we all get charged. This nigga got 5 years. I got 20 years. He did more than I did. Now I don't want to tell on this nigga. You know what I'm saying? It's not like they're going to say, all of y'all niggas get the same amount of time. We're going to put y'all in the same jail. Niggas will probably never tell. We did this shit together. Now we together in the same jail at the same amount of time. We cool. But no, you finna go over there to this jail. You going to that jail. You in the state. You in the, like, whatever the fuck the case is. And y'all all got different amount of times. And niggas feeling like, oh, this shit not fair.
Yeah.
So it's like, people put their self-preservation as like how, I think a lot of young guys lose sight of how they're going to end up.
Yeah.
For the better good. I can't even say the better good, but for the group. You know what I'm saying?
YNs, young, whatever. The problem is literally what you just said. You don't see past today. Like, they literally, because think about it. If they really thought about how this is going to affect them, whatever it is, their current actions, if they thought about how this is going to affect them, I feel like a lot of shit wouldn't happen.
Yeah.
But they really don't feel like they're going to even be here that long. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's when you feel like I can die any day.
Yeah.
When you seeing your homies die, when you seeing people die, you don't feel like you're going to be here that long. You're not thinking about the repercussions of what you're doing. You're not even taking into account if, okay, I make it out of the hood. I make it out of this situation or whatever the case may be. Now I got to make a way for myself. Now I got to provide, you know, I got to make a living for myself. I got to get some type of a job. That's not, that thought track ain't happening.
Yeah.
It's non-existent. So the actions that they taking, it makes sense right now. Like, nigga, of course I'm going to slide. Nigga, they're my guys. I'm not thinking about if I got to do 5 years and now that I get out, I do 5 years, I'm 18, I get out, I'm 23, whatever, however old, please don't quote me on the math. I'm 23 and now I got a felony. Now I got to go back and get my, they're not thinking about all of that.
They don't understand it though.
They don't understand
They don't understand what's a felony and what's not.
No, they find out in jail.
Yeah. Absolutely. Like, niggas have no idea. Like,
from another nigga.
I was explaining to a kid a hijacking and a gun charge or illegal gun, you could get like around 30 years.
Yeah.
That. Like, you put a gun to somebody's head, snatched them out their car. It was a switch, scratch off, whatever. Crazy time. He looking at me like, nigga, you ain't getting 30 years for no shit like that. Hell no. Like almost like I do that all the time. Like, it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, like, but dead ass though. Like that was the that was the conversation I was telling you about when Shorty said everything was free. I don't know if did we talk about that on the podcast?
No, that was just between us.
I'm having a conversation for the pod. I'm having a conversation with this kid. We in a therapy session, and he's telling me we at his house. We sitting in his room, and he watching these drill videos from like 10 years ago though. Like nigga, you was 10 years ago. He's 15. I'm like, why are you watching these drill videos from 10 years ago? I'm talking this shit like terrible quality. It's like this is like pre-Chief Keef era. Like it's bad. All right, so he like, oh, this my old hood. Like these the guys. Woo, woo. I'm like, these niggas like 18. You were 5. You don't know these niggas. Like what you talking about? Like. He's like, no, this the hood though. And I'm like, okay, cool. And I'm like, I said something, I'm like, bro, it was so many guns in the video. I ain't watched a drill video in a long time, so I kind of forgot how that shit be looking. That shit looked like the fucking cartel. Like, it was so many fucking guns. I'm like, bro, these niggas got so many guns, you would think guns was free. That nigga looked at me and was like, guns is free. Everything free. I'm like, what you mean? Like, bro, everything free. You get whatever you want. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just his mentality towards life. And he was just telling me how, like, he was telling me about this high speed chase he was on, and it was like a three. Like him repeating it to me was like he was like
you getting excited.
A rush. Yeah, it was like a rush for him to talk about this high speed chase that he took the police on. She was on the news, and how he almost got in an accident, almost hit this truck and swerved around. He's like when the police caught him, he's like, man, you was so calm the whole time. Woo. Almost like he felt like the police was giving him props for being like a cold ass driver. Like the way he explained this story was just like, this shorty is tripping right now. Like he tripping. I ain't gonna say he gone. But goddamn though. Like, you know what I'm saying? So he like, I'm like, how long you been doing? I'm like, how do we get you to like stop stealing cars? And he like, man, he like, no, I need a car. Like, I'm like, how often do you? He's like, bro, he's like, I got somewhere to be every day. I'm like, well, what does that mean? Like, you stealing a car every day? He's like, bro, I'm not taking the bus nowhere. I got somewhere to be every day. So whether I kept the car from yesterday or whether I'm getting another one today, I need a car every day. And he been doing this shit since he was 12 years old. Like, crazy. He got 3 of the same cases all open. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
how do you fix that? Like, you hear some shit like that and it's like,
I don't even know if that'll help for real.
I don't think, you know, I
think he will run out of gas. No,
he gonna steal another car. He gonna steal another car with a full tank of gas.
And I ain't mad at the person who stole it. Like,
I don't think buying here, like bro say, pound my car. I don't think that's gonna solve it. It's literally the thrill of it. It's like that's almost like nigga, no, like cheating. Like nigga, it's the thrill of it. You know what I'm saying? This is the thrill versus. So to hear that from a 15-year-old, I honestly, if that was me in real time, I don't even know how to begin to course correct that because, like you say, he was talking as if it was so normal. Like when you said, like, you know, shit, whatever you said, and for his response to be like, everything free. He was crazy. He was confused at why you thought it wasn't free.
Yeah.
You're like, nigga, everything. Like, what do you mean?
Like you just out here paying for shit?
All right, like, nigga, just go get it. Right, the guns. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you need one? I go get you one right now.
But the crazy thing was, like, he took it from guns. He was like, everything is free. Like, whatever I want.
Whatever it is.
Like, it wasn't about guns. He was like, guns is free, but nigga, everything is free. Like, but it was crazy because he had hella shoes in that bitch. Like, I'm like, this nigga shoe game was crazy though. And I'm kind of looking at the situation, like the whole like living situation. Like, I'm like, this nigga got a lot of shoes. Like, I don't know if they just into shoes. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he got a lot of shoes for the situation. I'm just like,
stolen bitches.
When he said that, I'm like, everything. I'm looking at it around the room, like, oh,
everything is free.
Like, shit make a lot of sense. This shit got to add up right now. Like. This nigga doing pretty good for yourself.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
But nah, man, I think a big part of this is, you know, we talk about community, finding belonging. I think a big part of this identity. You know, I just started going back to church with you. I was talking to the guy from the Obama Foundation, and he was like, asked me about the show, asked me about it. I was telling him you're gonna come or whatever. He was like, well, what's your co-host like? Is he into the community? Da, da? And I told him some shit, and I was just like, bro, I feel like I'm bringing him closer to the community, and he's bringing me kind of closer to God. Like, you know what I'm saying? I feel like you wasn't really in the community like that, and now you are, and like now I'm in church and shit like that. Yeah. And I think in both situations, like even in church, I'm still not a like religious. The religion part ain't why I'm there. You know what I'm saying? But I did always admire my grandma, like, conviction. Like, she was the only person I knew that wasn't scared to die.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? She was like, I know what the fuck I'm going. I don't know about y'all niggas. Like, I'm not worried about shit. Like, and she lived life like that. Like, she just really didn't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? And I'm talking about even like when we was getting to like, you know, we was on 77 from Marshfield. It was in a ward. It was bad as fuck back then. You know, 80s babies, all that shit was going. Nigga, anything happened with any of us, my grandma cussing niggas out up and down the block. Like, she just was talking to niggas like they was like, she just was a very fearless person. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I always admired that about her. And that's that sense of identity that you get from religion. You know what I'm saying? And you get that sense of identity from being on the basketball team for some people. You get that sense of identity from boxing, from being in a gang. And I think that everybody's just looking for that sense of identity, especially young guys. We talk about our young guy who's in the village and, you know, the situation we just had and how it seems that he wants to be known as the protector, as the, you know, aggressor. The one that's going, he's the aggressor. Like, he's the, I ain't gonna say bully. Yeah, the enforcer. Like, I'm the one that, I'm frontline in everything. Like, I'm swinging first. They gonna come get me when it's time to fight. And he's taking that identity on because he didn't have another one. He wasn't the athlete. He wasn't the smartest kid in the class. You know what I'm saying? So you kind of go, and then he got a big brother to look up to that's kind of that as well. So I think everybody's trying to figure out what they can be. And like, the more limited the examples are that's close to you, you know what I'm saying? You can have as many examples you want on TV, but what do you see around you that's working that you can actually do? And I think that a lot of the street shit, the drill shit, people getting rich off being tough, people getting rich off being killers or being known as that, I think it's low-hanging fruit, and people and these young niggas is chasing it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It don't take talent.
No.
To be Chief Keef. Like, it don't. Well, Chief Keef's kind of good.
Yeah,
he make beats and shit.
Pretty nice.
But all these other niggas, a lot of these other drill niggas, like, it don't take talent to be that. Like, you just kill a couple niggas, go viral,
like,
now you up.
The fucked up part about that is you see somebody, you know, take the actions that Chief Keef took. You know what I'm saying? And you live in the same environment.
Yeah.
But what you don't realize is what they're not aware of is anomalies. Like, you don't. It's like Michael Jordan, Chief Keef, Damian Thomason, Adrian Peterson. You know, just like certain people who defy the odds. Yeah. And you forget about all of the other people who tried to go down that same lane. So, like, you see a successful drill rapper, right? And you like, nigga, I'm living this shit too. And they really feel like they can make it and be successful. Really, it's not about drill. It's not about being violent. Ultimately, these niggas want to take care of themselves and their families.
Absolutely.
That's really I want to have some money so I can be able to take. Yeah, they into the flexing and all of that shit too.
The clout too.
Yeah, the clout too. But ultimately, you want to make a way for yourself. You don't want to be broke no more.
Yeah.
And you see that acting like this nigga's a millionaire.
And you also don't get to see people who benefit from education. And that's why I talk so much about, like, somebody got to stay in the fucking hood.
Yeah.
Like, somebody got to stay here. Like, when you grow up in Inglewood or wherever, Roseland or wherever the fuck else you grow up at, and you see all this fucked up shit around you, right? You see, I always talk about how they say 80% of all the murders in Chicago happen in 4 neighborhoods. Inglewood being one of them. It's probably about 120 to 200 murders in Inglewood a year. 10 years. You there from 8 to 18, it's 2,000 murders, right? So this is like a 4-mile radius? Not even 4-mile radius. It's probably like a 2 to 3 mile radius, right? So this is shit what you're looking at, right? You might know one older nigga who you in elementary school, he in high school, he go off to prom. I had Otis. Otis was my guy, like, right? This is really about my nigga Otis, right? Okay. I ain't seen that nigga. Look, I stay on the block. The nigga who run my neighborhood lives across the street from me, right? All the guys used to be over there on hood shit, right? Otis was a nigga who stayed 2 doors down, tall, football playing nigga, like, handsome dude. I'm like, I want to be like this nigga Otis. But Otis wasn't in the streets, but everybody respected him, though. Yeah. So it was to the point where they'd go do some shit, go slide over the other side of the house to do whatever they do, come back and be on a nigga ass for not helping. But I'm like, Otis don't never help y'all. He don't even go with y'all. Like over there. Y'all respect the fuck out this nigga. He don't do shit but go to school and play football. Like, you know what I'm saying? But they just respected this nigga. And I just wanted to be like that because I knew I wasn't a street nigga. Like I knew like I don't fit in with this crowd. Nigga, Otis got a trunk party, bro, went to college. I never saw that nigga again. You know what I'm saying? Because when niggas go to college and they get their degree, they move to the suburbs or downtown. Niggas is getting the fuck out of here fast as they can.
Or whole nother city.
Every shorty that did look up to that person, now it's just macho. Like this is what I got to look at every day. You know what I'm saying? Damn, I dropped the nigga name. Shout out to Macho. You know what I'm saying? But it's that's just how it goes. It's like all those, career day, we gonna send some niggas to the school to talk to the kids for one day. It's bullshit, G.
You don't care.
It's bullshit.
As a kid, like you just don't care. Like
you don't care and you don't know this nigga.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you need the nigga that you saw growing up. The nigga that stayed on your block. You need an accountant next door to you. You need a motherfucking doctor. We ain't gotta go doctor, lawyer. We ain't gotta go that high on the scale. But you need a tech guy on your block. You know what I'm saying? Nice car. What you do? I do tech. Ooh, what the fuck is tech? Like you need that,
perfect
bro.
example, man. When I was like about 17. I think it was my junior year. So typically in the neighborhood, you know, you see the successful drug dealers, you see the finesses, the car crackers, whatever the case may be. Outside of that, who I looked up to, Bobby, shout out to Bobby and I want to say bro name was Roland. They worked at Navistar. They worked in a factory.
Yeah.
And I would see them, like they had come back to the school, and this was so impactful. So at CVS we had majors, and I was in Navistar Diesel, and it was my junior year, and Bobby and Roland, they had just graduated, and they started to work for this company called Navistar. And back then, this was 08, and them niggas was making like $19, $20 an hour. That was a lot of money back then. You know what I'm saying? So they will come back up to the school and holler at our instructors, like Mr. Mickens and the other one, bald dude. I know who I'm talking about. I can't believe I forgot his name. Respect to him. But they came back around. They making good money, but they still came back. And they kicking it with us. They talking to us. And we see, like, bro, you was just in this classroom last year.
Right.
Now you got this nice ass car. We outside. We see what you driving. We know how much you making. We went to your job, like like it was a whole new lane. And so now it went from like making some hood money, cracking cars to, I know another route where I can get a bag.
Yeah.
It's a whole bunch of more other routes.
Yeah.
But if we don't see it, we can't be it.
Exactly. And it's just like people always say, like, oh, it's America, it's 2025. These black kids in the hood got just the same opportunity. Ain't nothing stopping them from going to college. Ain't nothing stop they making these decisions, right? But that's no different than right now. Everybody hearing about these tech jobs making $200,000. Everybody ain't in them.
Yeah.
It's somebody right now who making a lot less than they want to, who like they hearing about the tech jobs, but they not making that move. Why? Because for one, they're not exposed to it. They don't know nothing about it. And no one's close to them telling them about it. If you was exposed to it, you might say, you know what, fuck this job I'm doing right now. Let me go jump into this tech shit because I see it. I kind of understand a little bit of it. I'm gonna jump into it. Or even if you didn't know shit about it, if it's somebody close to you, like, bro, they got this program, I'm finna do it. Ooh, like it's cost this much. They got all the information for you. Then, and you trust that person because you know them, you're a lot less likely, like, bro, I'll take that class with you. Or after you take that class and finish and I see how it goes, then I'll do it, right? It's this, we talking about adults. It's the same shit for the kids. I haven't seen that career. I see hood niggas all day. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could tell me I could be a lawyer, a doctor. I haven't seen that shit. I'm not exposed to that shit. And nobody around me has ever benefited from having an education. That's usually how it is in the hood. For me growing up, nobody I was around, even whether they had money or not, it wasn't because they was educated.
Yeah.
Nobody benefited from being educated. So what the fuck am I sitting in here learning Macbeth for? I don't get it.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
That's why referrals are so strong.
Yeah.
Like, that's why people always talk shit about, like, network marketing companies. Like, it's a pyramid scheme, this or that. And it's honestly a simple fucking concept. It's a simple concept. It's a simple business plan. We have a product or a service. Let's create a product or service. Cool. how do businesses typically, like big businesses, how do they typically market themselves? They run commercials, right? You know what I'm saying? Or ads or things of that nature. Network marketing companies, they understand the power of people trusting people. So they cut out, we're not going to run a commercial. We're not going to run ads. We're not going to spend any money on that shit. We're going to create the product and we're going to start with a group of people. You just tell the people that you know that you trust in this product. And they grow a fucking multi-million-dollar company. Because if I, like, based off of our relationship, let's just say, I don't know, these fucking cups right here. Yeah. Based off of our relationship, I refer you need some cups. Yeah. Hey, this brand right here, bro, you go get these cups. Yeah. No questions asked. You gonna go get the cups because you trust me.
Yeah. It could be the type of water you drink. That's what I thought you were gonna go for. Cause yeah, motherfuckers say how you like this eternal water, the best water. Ooh, ooh. I see that shit in Mariano's. Let me try this shit, man. This nigga keep talking about this eternal water.
Exactly. Yeah, you gonna, you know, so when you think about that with the options that we have, like in the hood, if a young kid, somebody close to him, hey, you should learn tech. They making a lot of money. I'm making a lot of money. Yeah. You can go do this, take a boot camp, woo woo. You're at least gonna go down that road to see if you can do it too versus.
Yeah. Versus I'm saying, hey, you should cook crack. You can make a lot of money. I'm making a lot of money.
I'm making a lot of money doing this shit.
For sure. Nigga been cooking crack for 4 years. They never look up how much time you finna get.
But yeah, man. So yeah, but side note, I'm not in a network marketing company, but y'all sound real ignorant when y'all say that shit.
Yeah. I'm gonna say, before we get off the gang shit, I will say this though, and this is just to credit, and say that we do understand why it happens. Mm-hmm. Poverty is like the baseline in a lot of the communities that we see this happening in. And like with poverty, typically, that's not true. I was gonna say when there's a lot of love absent in the house, it's usually when there's a lot of money absent, it's usually a lot of love, but that's not always true. Yeah. But in a lot of impoverished households, all there is love, right? So a lot of times it's like, nigga, you hungry? My nigga gave me some chicken. Like I went down the block. Every time I'm fucked up, shit fucked up in my crib, I go to bro crib. His mama always, you know what I'm saying, give me some chicken, give me a little pizza, let me sleep on the like whatever the fuck. So it's just like whatever this nigga is into, I got this nigga, and it like. That baseline of like struggle and the nigga that you standing next to every day that's experiencing that with you and y'all constantly helping each other. When you put that in a gang, when you say it's 3 kids on this particular block that's experiencing that and they tight, and there's 7 kids on, 5 kids on the next block and they all in the same neighborhood. When they get into it with them niggas from over there, fuck them niggas. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, it's like real. Really, like we really finna ride together and band together. And a lot of that just be off of the love and experiences that niggas have together. You know what I'm saying?
It's just like, nigga, let's say you go to, let's say a nigga, a black person. Yeah. You go to China. Yeah. You're in China. The first black person you see, there is an instant connection, an instant bond. They could be from your rival neighborhood. They could be. It don't matter.
I'll do you one better. They ain't got to be black. They just got to be American.
Facts.
You see a nigga speaking English. I hate you at home. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, here we go. Like, hey, nigga,
look, we allies right now.
You take me and a redneck right now and drop us off in the middle of fucking
Venezuela.
This my man. So what you talking about till we get home?
That's real. That's real.
Yeah.
Other reasons.
Getting off that. Let's go religion.
Okay.
A lot of people, a lot of niggas run to religion in jail.
Yes.
A lot of niggas run to religion in jail. And I see why.
It's usually Muslim though. They usually go to the Muslim route.
Muslims do be having a jail.
They got the jail. They got the jail.
Is it that it's mostly Muslim? I just think Muslims are more identifiable than Christians. Like Muslims have a look.
They do.
So if a nigga go to jail and just be a Christian, it's like, nigga, you look the same. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, neutral. When a nigga turn Muslim, we can look at him and be like, that nigga's a Muslim now.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? Do the Muslims run to jail? We don't be in jail. So
I don't know.
We've never been there. Need a jail nigga.
Real?
Real? I don't think Real hasn't been in jail.
Nah,
Real like nigga. Real like nigga, I ain't not getting caught. Fuck wrong with you?
That's crazy. How the fuck? Look. What? No.
Hey, Ray, shut up.
You got a mic? How the fuck I get in jail? Right. Nigga, I've been in the county. How the fuck I end up in the county?
Yeah, you was doing some shit you wasn't good at.
Right. Shouldn't have been doing that shit. I wasn't thinking.
Nah, but all right. So some niggas run a religion in jail, but a lot of people run into religion in hard times in general. I do think I love the community of religion. You can speak to religion a lot more than I can, but I do think it's some downside to it, especially in a black community when it comes to. I think it's the most divisive shit in our community. Malcolm X, I always say like the most segregated hour in America is high noon on a Sunday. You know what I'm saying? Like you got straight white churches. Even the white people is like you got the Catholics, the Christians, with black people you got I think Jody said Coptics and the Muslims, and you know what I'm saying. So I do think, and even when we try to band together and make movements, a lot of it is like I can't ride with them because they Muslims or they in the Nation of Islam or they Christians or they don't believe what I believe and things like that.
Just because somebody's something else, right? Yeah. The only time, I'm gonna be honest, the only time that will shift my like allegiance, or I'm gonna just say allegiance, is when it's time to like choose a partner, a mate, somebody I'm sharing life with. Mm-hmm. I can absolutely interact with somebody who believes something that I totally different from me. You know what I'm saying? And I got Muslim friends. I don't. You said what? I thought Jody was saying something. It don't matter what you believe in to me. Like we can coexist. Like we can collaborate. Mm-hmm. But when it comes to like me choosing like a mate, somebody I got to build life with, somebody I'm really got to integrate with, mm-hmm. that's when it'll get tricky because like our beliefs and shit is different.
Yeah. What do you think are some of the pros and cons, ups and downs, ebbs and flows of black men in the Christian church?
Some of the pros for black men in Christian churches is you do find like a stronger sense of identity, okay. A stronger sense of self. Like you kind of like remove yourself of worldly, expectations, worldly things. Like it's a lot of stuff that I don't care about, like how the world views things or how the world sees. I don't know. Like I'm more so selfish with what I believe in, and I'm not attached to nobody's perception of me. Yeah. Like I believe what I believe, and I'll let you believe what you believe, but you're not gonna shake the path that I'm walking. Like so that's a positive thing. Like once you do get centered and once you do start to, learn and believe in what you following, like you get a stronger sense of identity where like nothing around you, it don't bother you. Like you got some Christians to where if you start talking about, another religion, they get defensive. Mm-hmm. It's like, no, Jesus is the way, the life, and the Lord. Like
I kind of think that niggas should feel that way if you really believe in that though.
Yeah, like no, for sure. I believe that. Yeah, but I'm not gonna. So this is the thing that you should. I
ain't no evangelist, nigga.
You should never. I feel like I'm not about to argue you on your beliefs. Like you believe this. I'm wasting my time. Yeah. Like if this is what you believe, I'm not about to sit here go back and forth to try to change your mind about some shit that you've been gun-hoed on for years. Yeah. I'm just gonna say, okay, you got it.
For sure. For sure.
You feel me?
What do you think? So a lot of people feel like Christianity is rooted in patriarchy.
Okay.
Would you agree?
I don't think so.
Okay. So my follow-up question would have been, how do you think Christianity affects the way we interact with masculinity? Because a lot of people, like I said, a lot of people feel like it's rooted in patriarchy, and they feel like a lot of the concepts of patriarchy are passed down from the Western world. I mean, in the Western world, it's delivered from Christianity, the man at the top, things like that. And we talk about patriarchy as it is today, hypermasculinity, all these different things. How do you think that Christianity, in your experience, because Christianity is different in different places. It might be different in the black community and the white community. I don't know.
It shouldn't be
with the white Christians. I think white Christianity is very different from black Christianity, considering, they taught niggas that we weren't even people for real.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah, that's a little crazy. That's why I said it shouldn't be. I ain't saying it is, but it shouldn't be that. But what's your question though?
how do you feel like Christianity interacts with masculinity in your experience? Like, what do you think Christianity teaches men about how to be men?
That is a good one, ain't it? You should have asked me that before. I want to do some thinking on that.
We get back to it.
I don't just want to spit out an answer on that.
You want to save it for Patreon or something? You want to think
Yeah.
about on it?
That is a good one.
Yeah, man. I don't know. For me, when it comes to community, when it comes to church, I don't think that church is a bad place to build community. I do think that once you get involved in the church, from my experience being a child, it becomes like a social club. It could get like really messy and shit. I think when you go into church, just go to church, it'd be cool. But when you involved in the church, it'd be like a fucking Tyler Perry show. Like,
nah, for real. Like, I ain't gonna lie. Like some of the messiest situations, they be fucking on each other. It's a lot of shit.
People gonna fuck.
Yeah, you know.
One thing people gonna do is fuck. I mean, like, come on now.
But no, but that's where the messy shit, you know what I'm saying, can happen. I do feel like somebody like on the outside, you just experience in church. Yeah. But when you do get involved in church, you got to remember, I think we put church too much on a pedestal. Like we still dealing with people, even when it comes to pastors. Yeah. Like people put pastors on pedestals. Yeah. You find out a pastor cheated, and it's just like he a nigga like everybody else. Yeah, we hold him to a higher standard, but all in all, Jesus died for everybody's sins. Right. We all sinful. Yeah. They may know, like pastors and those like people in those high places, they may have grown to a place to whereas they sin a little less than we do, but we're all kind of messed up down here.
What do you think? Like, you know how when a police officer or a CO goes to prison and they treat it like super bad because like criminals look like, oh damn nigga, you was an op, now you in here with us. Yeah. You think it's like that if a pastor go to hell? Like they just be on his ass,
yeah, nigga, I remember you. You said you told me I was gonna be down here. Now look at you.
You think like they get it worse down
there? We
in
this bitch together.
Yeah, they probably get it worse. All right. My cousin made a point to me a while ago. This when I was younger. He made a point to me. I wasn't in the church at the time. I grew up in church, but at this time I was out of the church, and I'm just now going back. He said that he doesn't respect the church because the church is supposed to stay consistent regardless of the times. He feel like that's the main point of the church. Regardless of how much the world changes, God said this. Okay. And this is always going to be what it is. We don't give a fuck what's trendy. We don't give a fuck what the government is saying. Like God said this, and that's it, right? That's how he feels like the church is supposed to be. But he feel like with new times and the LGBTQ community being more accepted, he feels like that community is not preached against. Like a hood nigga can go, this is what he said, a hood nigga could go to church and the pastor be so against hood shit that he actually grows and changes and stops being that way because the pastor is like preaching against that behavior and he grows out of it. But the pastor will never preach against someone that's homosexual and they're not pushed to grow out of that sinful way according to the Bible. Mm-hmm. And that's why he doesn't trust the church. He feels like it's political. He feels like, niggas know, like, if I preach against this, I'm putting the church at jeopardy, my livelihood at jeopardy, finances at jeopardy. How do you feel about that?
I do think the church should be consistent in, going against it. However, we are talking about human beings. Mm-hmm. We are talking about imperfect people. Mm-hmm. I did see a perfect example. I don't think that will happen in a big church. A big church, they're gonna like kind of avoid that. They're gonna kind of like sweep it under the rug or accept it. Yeah. Oh, okay, everybody is sinner.
Especially in Atlanta.
Yeah, I can only imagine. I can only fucking imagine.
Lock the doors in.
But I did see a smaller church. It was like it was a clip on Facebook. It was a small church, and the pastor was, in front, and a gay guy walked in, and he was dressed like a woman. Mm-hmm. The pastor stopped the service and said, "Hey, you got to leave."
See, I don't think that's fair either. Because if I cheated on my girl last night, you're not gonna. If you knew I was a cheater, you're not gonna stop and kick me the fuck out. If you knew I slapped my wife, like if that was a known thing, when I walk through the door, you're not gonna stop me and kick me out. So I don't think that's too. I think that's the other end of the spectrum. I ain't fucking with that either, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So with that, it's more so.
You said what?
No, he stopped the service. Like, yeah,
that's strong.
if you're gonna be, he said, if you're a man, right? If you're gonna be in here, you're gonna dress like a man. But he would not have said, like, you're a man, right? Men don't put their hands on women. You can't be in here. He wouldn't have said that.
To credit him, you ain't putting your hands on a woman in this moment.
In this moment,
you just know you did it.
Yeah.
This so like, when do you dress like a woman right now?
Yeah, it's a lot of I formalities and shit.
Yeah, for sure.
So you can't come as you are.
Not to his church.
No, not to his.
I said say that shit with Pastor Hannah. He do that.
What?
That come as you are thing.
Yeah, you come in there like I come in there just like this.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. But my point is, I just understand that I don't hold nobody on no pedestal. I get it. You know what I'm saying? The inconsistencies. That's why you can't make a church or a pastor like your idol. You got to find a relationship with God. You got to build your relationship with God. Yes, I can go and be under your quote unquote leadership. You know what I'm saying? I'll listen to your teachings as long as it's aligning with what I'm also studying. Like as long as you up there and you're talking from the word of God, you're talking from the Bible, and not you remixing this shit, not you creating your own narratives, not you making up stuff. Like I can rock with that. So
yeah, I think every I don't.
What's that, Jody?
Jody, if you're not on the mic, we're not doing this today.
Sorry. Ain't everything a remix though? Because if you as a pastor, as a leader, are interpreting a scripture, you're going to preach that based on how you interpret it and how you think it should be kind of like carried out. And so everything at that point kind of turns into a remix.
But you have a reference point. Like you have a foundation. It's like, so when I say like a remix, let's just say a pastor takes a scripture from the Bible and you change the words. Like the
blood is thicker than water shit.
You know
That's
what I'm saying?
Remix.
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Like you change the meaning of what's being said. Mm-hmm. Like this is the word and now you go far left from it. That's not like a remix. Now, an acceptable remix would be you take a piece from the Bible and you create what you say?
And paraphrase that.
And paraphrase it. You know what I'm saying? You tell a story around it, but with the same principles. You're just trying to make it understandable for, you know what I'm saying, your audience to receive it. But the meaning isn't changing.
So you're not really misleading with it, basically.
Yeah.
I hear that, but then I also know that when it comes to communication, right? Like, it's a lot of stuff that goes into how you receive a message, where you are mentally when you read it, the like tonality, like it's a lot of stuff that goes into literally basic comprehension. And I don't think all people that read the exact same text are going to comprehend or interpret it the exact same way. That's all.
That's the point of preaching, though.
Yeah.
Because like,
but that's why I said everything is a remix. Then
that's not a remix. Because if this one book says one thing and everybody's preaching it the same way, but this nigga is like educated and done whatever research to where he's like more well versed on his book, then he's telling you that this is how this should be taken. That makes sense to me, right? I think remixing, and I think all these niggas do this, is when they say like, turn to Luke 7. So it's a message of the day. The message of the day is God is on the way with a blessing for you, whatever the fuck it is, right? Turn to Luke 7. We gonna read like one sentence. Turn to Ezekiel 9. We're gonna read another sentence. Now turn to Matthew 4.
Exactly.
What the fuck? These are completely different stories to support your point.
Exactly.
But that's not like, you just wanted to make whatever point you was on your heart that God told you to preach about this. Just read me the fucking story, bro. Like, what is Luke 2 about? Like, read me the whole story and tell me how this story in the Bible applies to my life. Why are you coming up with your own topic for the day and just finding bits and pieces of what God said to support what you want to say.
Exactly.
It's not the word
That's
of God.
not a
It's
remix.
the word of you.
Yeah, yeah.
Sure.
So that's a perfect example of
It's the book of Clarence.
what. That's the perfect example of what it should be. And I've been one of the first things that Terry has said. I think that your first church service that you came to, you was like, I like how this nigga stayed on track. Like he stayed in one section of the Bible.
Like last Sunday, he was on that remix shit. He was on that bullshit last Sunday.
He was?
He was jumping all around about. He was hopping and fucking hopscotching around that bitch. You know what helped him out now though is that nobody actually bring a Bible. Ain't nobody sitting in church with a Bible. They throw that shit up on the screen. Niggas ain't got to. And we had to literally sit there and flip through it. Hold the fuck on.
I used to go
through this book like this.
I used to go to church and have we used to bring the physical Bibles and it'd be like, and the pastor would literally like, everybody got it, and somebody be like, hold on.
That's
like, wait.
fucked up because they could be putting anything on them screens now.
Like, boom.
Motherfucker wouldn't even know.
Niggas got different types of Bibles and shit. You know, it'd be crazy. But all right, moving on. Fraternities. I guess this is my
Your lane.
my lane. How do you feel about black men going to fraternities for community?
I think it's cool. I would have done the same thing if I went to 4-year university.
I'll say this about fraternities, right? I'm a noob. I'm a Kappa. I would never tell my son to be a Kappa.
Okay.
When I got to college and I saw the Kappas, I thought they was Muslims. I thought they was Muslims with little canes. Because they had on bow ties. And bow ties go with bean pies. It's like a combo. Like you don't see a nigga. I'm from the South Side. You don't see a nigga with a bow tie without a bean pie. You know, Stony, nigga. Like,
So you're not even
something like
Stony.
that. It's fresh ass Muslims walking around. Young niggas with the suits on. I don't know what the cane's for, but yeah. So I swear to God, I thought they was the Muslims though when I first. And some of them had bald heads and shit. I thought they was Muslims. So like, it was like cool, whatever. Now, when I was in high school, it was a party called Players Ball at Southern Illinois, and people like seniors, if you was 18, they would drive 5 hours to go to this party. Never knew it had anything to do with a frat, right? So I knew about Players Ball. I get to school, my homie is pledging a fraternity. He's pledging to be an alpha. I don't know shit about nothing. I don't know nothing about a fraternity. So when I get there and he telling me about it, it's like, okay, number one, this nigga's an asshole. But this is like the most humble I've ever seen him. Like I grew up with this nigga. He's a dickhead for real.
Yeah.
Shout out my nigga Marcus. Dickhead. Like asshole, right? But now he's like really humble. Like he's like, I'm like, what the fuck they do to this nigga? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like super humble. I'm like, okay, that's cool. And then we would do things, and it might be like he got to stay up and type a 20-page paper. Or we moving furniture. It's hot as hell outside. He's like, nigga, I pledged. I don't give a fuck. Like I'm finna do this shit. I pledged. I'm like, you Superman? Like you pledged? Like this nigga just had a lot of confidence. Like you know what I'm saying? He just felt like he could do anything. So I'm kind of fucking with it, but at the same time, I'm not sold on this. I don't care to do it. I'm just like happy for him type shit. Yeah. But he'll hang out with the alphas and shit. I'll be with them all the time because that was, you know, this is my best friend and he with them. And you know, someone be like, oh, come on home, bro. It's like, nigga, y'all not finna whoop my ass for me to keep hanging with y'all. Like I hang with y'all now. What the fuck am I doing that for? So I didn't get it. So my homie ended up telling me like, man, he say, it's this dude down here, Cordero, shout out to Cody Mack. Like, there's this dude down here who got a TV show. I used to shoot music videos before I came to college. He was like, man, you got your camera and shit. Go fuck with him. Maybe help him shoot his show. I meet the nigga. We shooting a show and shit. He got a TV. You know, it's a TV show. So fast forward, he ready to release the show. He do a red carpet event, right? So you go in the auditorium, niggas dressed up, suits on, red carpet. He on stage. The shit packed all the way to the back. You got to stand up and shit. And they premiered the first episode of the shit. The shit was crazy how many people was in there. And like after that, everywhere you go in the school, whether you in the student center, the dining halls, the main buildings of the school, every TV is playing this TV show. And I'm like, damn, like this is dope that the school did this predominantly white college. It was like 5,000 black kids. I feel like I didn't see white people unless I was in class. So it felt like HBCU vibes to me, whatever that is, because I never experienced one. But I just felt like it was a black ass school. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, damn, it's dope that this white school let this nigga, you know, like made a black TV show. And that same week, I go outside and I see these people marching down the street on some Martin Luther King march and shit. And they got these shirts on that say, "Can I live?" And they hollering and shit. And they come to a stopping point. Nigga get up on the podium and he start talking about his life and all the type of shit we talk about: shame, grief, guilt, all type of shit. And he talked about his life and everybody just dead silent. It's like 1,000 people outside. And then other people from the crowd start getting up, talk about their life. Motherfuckers out here crying and shit. I'm like, damn, this is some dope shit. This school kind of do a lot of black shit. And then the same week, again, now mind you, I'm not in college at this time. I just live with my homie. I just live with Marcus, right?
Okay.
And I didn't even want to go to college. I was just out there type shit. So the same week, he like, hey, the Kappas finna go do they march. It's Kappa week. And they had to follow them around. I was recording them. They wanted me, they just needed a videographer. Yeah. So I'm recording them. And like they waking up everybody in the dorms and shit like that. And everybody getting lit. It's like 12, it's midnight. Motherfuckers coming outside and shit. I'm like, damn, they got this shit lit. End up finding out that the nigga with the TV show was a Kappa. And it was his show. It wasn't the school show. Like it was like, that was his show. He did the casting, the directing, shot it all. The nigga on the rally, that was Ryan Reed. That nigga was a Kappa. That was his rally that he put on his own. And then they was telling me about Players Ball and how it was 3,500 people in the arena, and they had booked up every club in Carbondale for the overflow because it would be way more than 3,500 people at the party, and they grossed like $80,000 in that night. I'm like, it's something in the water with these niggas. Like these little Muslim niggas they got this shit popping. I'm like, I don't give a fuck about like whatever Kappa is, but I need to get around these niggas and figure out like how, because it's legal and it's like. These niggas just know a lot. These niggas is like in their early 20s. Like these niggas like 20 years old doing all of this shit and when nobody else doing that type of shit. Like there was some other dope shit going on, don't get me wrong, but not like that. Yeah. Right? So the reason I say I would never tell my son to be a Kappa, because honestly, I didn't give a fuck about you ain't not gonna catch me with no cane, red and white, all that shit. But it wasn't about what they were, it was about who they were. Them niggas could have been Alpha Phi, new whatever the fuck. I didn't give a fuck. I just wanted to be with the niggas that was winning. So I would tell my son, like, join the niggas that got the highest ceiling, right? If you go to a school and the noobs on some fuck shit, not graduating and getting high all day and not going to class, fuck them niggas. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, all that legacy, you want to be a Kappa. You ain't even met a fucking Kappa other than me. Like, fuck them niggas. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, go be with the niggas who, I don't give a fuck what they are. I don't give a fuck.
I like that. Sigmas. Got the highest ceiling.
We all wearing pillars right now. All them niggas are Sigmas. They ran their school, right? Thanks. At our school, not so much. But, you know what I'm saying? Like, if my son went to that school and them niggas was like winning, they was on point, they was graduating. You go to U of I, the Alphas, most of them niggas is engineers. They graduating super successful. They got promotion groups and all type of events around the city. Go join that shit. Don't go over there and because your daddy was a Kappa and you get to a school and they on some bump shit, it's just like, nah, I gotta be a Kappa. Like, no, fuck that. Fuck that. You know what I'm saying? So I do think that fraternity is great for men. However, I think that the allure of it can be harmful because a lot of people see you in high school and your football coach a Q and you've been watching these YouTube videos of niggas jumping around in circles and shit, and now you decided before you even got to the school what you gonna do, and you get there and you got blinders on. You're not paying attention to the fact that these are some bum ass niggas. No disrespect to the accused, like just but whatever group it is, like you're not paying attention to the fact that they some bum ass niggas. You've already decided that I have to be this. So you looking at these niggas like putting these niggas on a pedestal, whether they deserve it or not. You know what I'm saying? Because you've already decided that, and I think that's the bad part about fraternity. And I also think, we're gonna get into the Caleb Wilson situation about the hazing part of it in Patreon. Okay. But yeah, I think that it's definitely pros and cons. Networking is amazing, for sure. It's a lot of shit that I don't necessarily need that like people who not in the fraternity might need more, like an Afrotech. Like if I was on the tech track still, Afrotech would be beneficial to anybody, absolutely. But it's a lot of connections that I would have that just a lot of people wouldn't have. So a lot of times people was like, niggas be shitting on fraternities. I feel like the black community hates fraternities. Like, you know what I'm saying? But it'd be like a lot of this shit y'all niggas be like paying for. So all that shit a lot of information niggas pay for that you would just have. You know what I'm saying?
If you was in a.
And that's the benefit, yeah.
For sure.
Because you got the resource of having. Like my chapter, not even my fraternity, my chapter was founded in 1950. So you got niggas all the way back, college graduates, like from in every field, just in my chapter. It's like you could call a nigga for anything.
No, and that's another thing. Like I definitely would have. I would have taken that approach, like with my personality, whatever campus I was on, whatever college I went to, whatever fraternity was the niggas, I would have been over there.
Yeah.
Like that's just like how I would have. I just would have gravitated to the winning team. Like,
and then that's the part too, though, right? The winning team, right? Because it's like winning. Like, which way are they winning?
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? Because you might have in some schools, like at my school, they was like the niggas that was winning to me when it come to like getting things done. They was fucking a lot of girls and all that shit too, and that shit was dope. But they was getting shit done. Not saying they had the best GPA on campus. It's actually what they got spent it for. GPA wasn't that great, right? Niggas was graduating, GPA wasn't that great. But they was just like doing the events, the like the things that they was able to put together, the way they was able to cultivate people was amazing to me. But you might go on another campus and it's like these niggas just fucking all the girls, and all the girls is talking about these niggas, but they not doing shit other than that. And I think that's the dangerous part, right? You got you 18 coming on campus.
You know what makes a difference?
What everybody talking about.
What makes a difference with that is your circle of influence.
Yeah.
Let's say I'm gonna be real. I'm just thinking about my 18-year-old self, 19-year-old self. If I came to SIU, right, and me and you happen to be friends, and the what other fraternities was like there?
None that matter. No, I'm just playing. You got the Qs, the Kappas, the Alphas, the Sigmas, the Iotas.
All of them.
Yeah.
Okay, so any one of those, right? Let's just say in my head, I would have perceived them as winning because they had the most women, or the girls liked them the most, and I would have perceived that at that age, like, oh, they winning
for sure.
But if you're my close friend,
yeah,
you would have gave me that new perspective. Yeah. Like, bro, like, yeah, they got hoes, but like, nigga, did you see what the Noops is doing? Like, pay attention to, like, so just community. Who's in your community?
Yeah.
If you was like, oh yeah, the hoes, woo, we'd have been some fucking some other shit. You know what I'm saying?
You know what's the benefit I had? I was 21 when I got there. I wasn't 18. I had a house. I was renting a house and had bills and shit before I got there. Like, I had
I think it was a grown up
shit. Like, I was grown in the motherfucker. Like, didn't have life insurance. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, fuck all these hoes. Like, these niggas get some money. Like, fuck all the other shit. You know what I'm saying? I think that like my life experience kind of made me lean, but they had both though.
Yeah.
Like the allure of them was kind of crazy too, because I remember a conversation where niggas was like they taught me how to be cool on a big scale, on a mysterious scale. How do I want to say this? Like, you know how to be cool. You know how to walk in the room. You know how to talk to a girl, all that shit. They would do things like we gonna throw the first party of the year, then you're not gonna throw a party for a long time. And like when I got in, they was explaining why some of these things. Okay, let me put it like this. When I got there, niggas, they threw a party and everybody was talking about, oh, the Noops throwing a party. I'm like, why? Like, I'm like, it's at a house? Like, what the fuck is it? Like, they have house parties every weekend. They're like, no, these niggas don't throw house parties though. Like, I don't even know what the inside of the Kappa house looks like. That's what niggas kept saying. Like, I just want to see what it looked like inside. Because everybody else has a party every weekend and these niggas never have a party. So it just showed the value of like being like exclusive. Then when you get there, it's like, I don't know if it was all women for free, but it was whatever. Any other house, it was like girls was $1, niggas was like $3 to $5. They was like, niggas is a dub. This girl, that girl, and that girl, come on. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was just like, I know I'm finna see a girl that I never seen before, or a girl I've always wanted to see in this house. Here go my $20. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's how that shit was for niggas. And also it was some of them like it's crazy because the nigga who pulled me in, because I never expressed and I didn't know how to express that I wanted to be a Kappa. Like, I didn't know how to figure out when I wasn't gonna do the goose hunt shit. I just wasn't. Like, I ain't care that much. But the nigga who pulled me in, he actually paid for my haircut today. I just ran into the nigga in the barbershop. He my pledge father. I ran into the nigga in the barbershop. He paid for my haircut and shit like that. But he the same guy who saw me on campus, and he from the Hundreds, and we had a conversation. He was like, nah, you need to come over here. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, da-da-da-da. And it just worked like that. So, no, I think it's a great experience. I think I do think it's being watered down a little bit, but I still think it could be beneficial for young guys. I just think they got to know what to look for. And if they don't know what to look for, it can be very detrimental.
do you think, and I'm pretty sure we will answer this question in Patreon, do you think the process of being on the line, or what do you call it? Is that it?
Being online. Yeah.
Being online, do you think that needs to change? Because obviously, yes, like Caleb, right? His name, who passed away. Rest in peace of Caleb. What's the last name?
I want to say Wilson.
Rest in peace of Caleb Wilson. Obviously, the practices that these fraternities have when it comes to guys being online, there are benefits to it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's there for a reason. You do have, unfortunately, some casualties. But
I think one is too many when you're talking about a fraternity.
Okay.
Like, I think like we can't brush over like, oh, you know, all these assessments, a couple niggas died. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we can't, you know, like one nigga dying is like crazy. Like, you send your kid to college.
That's so devastating.
You know what I'm saying? Your kid,
I
think he was a junior. You a year away? You know what I'm saying? Like,
he's gonna be an engineer.
I don't give a fuck if he was a freshman. You send your kid to college. They made it out of high school. You know what I'm saying? You go to school on the south side of Chicago and made it to college and get a call like, and your kid died. That's insane. You know what I'm saying? So, for that reason, I will say, yeah, it do need to change, and it can still. I think niggas just need to just learn how to. I think niggas just need to get. It's gonna sound crazy to get better at it, but when I say getting better at it, I mean like it doesn't have to be as physical. Like, it don't have to be as physical. Like, the mind, the mind fuck was way worse if you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But everybody don't. And it just kind of, like, niggas just don't be knowing what they be doing at the end of the day. Like, the physical shit, bro, like, I can't really say too much, but it was times to where, like, you know, I would have much preferred that. Like, I would have way much preferred that than some of the mental shit that used to go on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But at the same time, when people ask me today, like, damn, you got the podcast, you got your kids, you got work and this going on and that going on. Like, nigga, when I was online, I had no money, no time. I was expected to get the highest GPA I ever got. Nigga, I'm waking up at 4 a.m, working out, going to class. I'm living in a two-bedroom apartment with 10 niggas voluntarily. I got a house that I can go back to. I got my own apartment. I'm living in a fucking, 2-bedroom house, 10 niggas, waking up at 4 a.m, working out, going to do shit for niggas, cut niggas' grass, whatever the fuck we gotta do. Then coming back, going to class, gotta sit in the front in class. It's so much shit it's so much shit, like tedious shit that you had to do. But it's like, this is the hardest time that you're gonna have. Like, you still gotta go to work. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the night, you gotta go to set and do the shit that they talk about in the movies.
And you gotta remember all of that shit.
You gotta remember all of that shit. You get what I'm saying? Under crazy amounts of pressure. And then you finish, and all you gotta do is go to class. Like, shit is easy as fuck. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's why I had a 1.8 GPA in high school and a 3.4 GPA in college. Yeah. My high school, like, I never failed a class in high school. I just didn't, like, I'm gonna graduate. I don't give a fuck about the grades. I felt the same way about college until I wanted to do that. They were like, yeah, you need a 4.0 3 semesters in a row to do this shit. Got the 4.0 3 semesters in a row. First 4.0 I had in college. First 3 4.0s I had in college. Then when I got in, I just kept that shit up. But it's like, now today, a lot of your success is gonna be based on how much you can tolerate at once. And like, that shit taught me to be able to deal with a lot of shit at one time. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and even when shit get heavy, I still got that mind state of like, nigga, just put your back on the wall, like, get in the mode. Like, that's kind of, I've done it before at a very, because pledging is a very unrealistic thing. Like, it's an unrealistic amount of pressure. It's very intentional. It's very planned. It's very, like, it's ridiculous how much pressure you under, like, on a daily basis. You'll never have that much pressure on you in life again. It might be worse shit to happen. Like, you might go to jail or some worse shit to, like, fuck with your brain, but I'm talking about, like, every moment of the day, you have something to do. You have too many things to do. You taking L's every day. You got to be in 7 places at once. All of this shit is like, and it's like months of that, and then you're done. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it just teach you to deal with like a shit ton of pressure and be super productive. That's the thing. It's like, but that's just, I was blessed to be in that situation in chapter I'm in. Like, everybody's situation I like that. When I talk to other niggas who pledge, that shit don't be like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It'd be, lot of ass kicking going on. Like, it was a lot of ass kicking going on still, but like it was a lot of learning though. It was a lot of like learning who you are and learning to take care of the nigga next to you. You know what I'm saying? Learning to, you know, like we was doing shit like nigga paying my ship's mama light bill. Nigga, like we was getting out, we was taking L's for that type of shit. Like, oh, you know this nigga last name, you know his birthday, you know, ooh, did you know his? You're like, oh yeah, I know everything about him. That's my brother. You know his mama light bill late? Did he tell you that? Did you ask him about his mama? Nah, nigga, we was putting bread together to pay niggas mama light bills and shit like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we was really taking care of each other. Mm-hmm. So it was just like those experiences. You know what I'm saying? Like, that shit was great for me. You know, but everybody's situation different.
For sure. Yeah, that's solid. And that reminded me, Andrew Tate. I think he said, the level, like for a man, your level of success, your level of success is determined by how much stress you can handle.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, so.
You got a shit ton of stress at a very young age. You know what I'm saying?
So when you leave college, nigga, going to work, working a 12-hour shift, like
like that shit wasn't not that big of a deal. Like,
for sure,
not that big of a deal. And especially when, you know, things just get super heavy. It's like you've done this before. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But that's that. What time we at? Yeah, that shit flew by. Let's wrap this up and go on Patreon. So my final thoughts on this is just that, like, black men find a community. There's not a lot of opportunity. There's not a ton of healthy communities out there for us. There's not. I think that that's something that we should lean into creating for ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Like, and when I say that, I'm not just talking about hanging with your homies in a very unintentional, just being more intentional about hanging with the same niggas you hang with. You know what I'm saying?
What are y'all doing?
What are y'all doing? It's not like you could be sitting with a nigga playing a game with him every day and not understand what he's going through. I guess so many times you hear niggas say like, man, my best friend committed suicide. I didn't know it was that deep with him. And he might have told you, like, you know, a lot of times niggas cry out for help. It'd be like the smallest shit. It'd be like, damn, bro, you know, I'm fucked up right now, bro. I had a homie call me on some drunk shit one day. And he just was like, man, I'm fucked up right now. Woo, woo. And that shit, I'm just like, damn, you good? Woo, woo. And I kind of ain't thinking nothing of it. And like, as time went on, we found out like he was going through some shit. And he was like, nah, bro, I was crying out for help. I just didn't know how to really like put it all out there. So that little small, damn, bro, I'm fucked up. Woo, woo. I'm just thinking you calling me drunk. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's it. And I think that, like, we got to take care of each other more. There's no reason you could be with a nigga every day, sit next to a nigga every day, and not know that he, like, on the brink of his demise. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
You got man's perspective?
Yes. That's what I do. I do got it. I just came up with it just now.
Go ahead.
Just now. And it's old to you. It may be you. It's new to you. Oh, man. I'm good, Real? Okay. Thank you, Real. Hey, nah, but for real. Wait, I'm for real. Hold on. I was on TikTok and it was I came across a TikTok. It was called like a mind movie. And it was basically a visual representation of what a vision board would be, but like a better way. And it was like psychological benefits of creating a mind movie. And she was showing us how to do it on Canva. And I was watching it and it was confusing. And I'm like, wait, then I kind of like clicked. I'm like, I could do the same shit on CapCut. So I went on CapCut and she said, you want to start your mind movie off with a kaleidoscope video. And that's almost like, think of like a lava lamp and how like if you like how visually pleasing a lava lamp is, you kind of like be looking at it. But looking at a kaleidoscope video, it turns off like certain things in your head. It turns off your intrusive thoughts. Like the way the shit is moving, it'll kind of like interrupt your intrusive thoughts. And she says she likes to play that before her mind movie starts. I think she said she played hers for like 3 minutes. I only put mine for like the first 60 seconds. And you want to put it, you want to watch it as soon as you wake up. So I put 60 seconds of the Kaleidoscope video, and then I went into my mind movie and how I want my life to look. I sent you like two videos of it. Mine is like 7 minutes long. It took like 3.5 hours to make because I was looking for a different visual representation of how I wanted it to be real specific. So it was images in my phone of like me at church or, praise and worship. It was images of my son, my family, like career wise, me in the gym working out. Like I pretty much designed my whole life, but it's literally a movie. It's 7 minutes long, and I've been watching it for like the last 3 days. I wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning, and the first thing I do is grab my phone and I watch the mind movie, and it sticks a lot better, and I feel like it's a much better route than like a vision board. I made a vision board before, getting a bunch of pictures and stuff, but like seeing it play out, and as the movie's going, I got captions and sayings and quotes of my own throughout it. Like, so as the images are changing, like I just tell y'all, one of them was like I want to live in a high rise, downtown or whatever. So I found a picture that I actually took before I even knew about mind movies, and it wasn't that long ago. Matter of fact, the night I went to Red Room, I went to Big Wig Tacos after that, and I was walking back to my truck, and I kind of like noticed, I looked up, and it was this high rise. It was tall as shit, and at the very top, at the corner of the building, the lights was on in that apartment, and all of the other lights was off in the entire building. And I looked up and I noticed that, and it's just like how I received it in that moment. I'm like, shit, when you get to the top, you got to work just as hard to keep it. Like that nigga he's at the top he got the best view in the building. Everybody else sleep for whatever reason. His lights on. He could have been getting some pussy, whatever. I don't know, but I just interpreted that he was working hard still. So I took a picture of it in that moment, and I that's one of the pictures in my mind movie. So anything that inspires you, anything that you want or whatever, find it. I would say it's only maybe like 4 pictures in mine. The rest is videos. So just create like your mind movie and meditate on that shit like as soon as you watch it in the morning.
For sure.
So yeah.
For sure. All right. My advice for boy moms today. Tell a story, man. When I was a kid, I had this assignment. I was about in 3rd grade, and the teacher told us to. He called us one by one to tell him our favorite cartoon, and it's not a lot of cartoons that little boys watch at the time. We was all watching Cartoon Network, and a lot of the kids was saying Ben 1, which was a cartoon that I've never watched. My cartoon was Dragon Ball Z. But they kept saying like Ben 1, Ben 1, Ben 1. Now the girls were saying they cartoon, the boys were saying Ben 1. And when they got to me, I didn't want to feel weird. You know what I'm saying? So I just said Ben 1 because
never seen this.
Everybody else said Ben 1. And then as he kept going, maybe about 7 other boys behind me, after me, said Dragon Ball Z. And it was still the vast majority said Ben 1, right? Then he broke us up in groups based on a cartoon that we watched. And we had to talk about it, draw pictures of it, do an assignment on it. And I'm in the Ben1 group, lost as fuck. And then the Dragon Ball Z niggas was having the ball. And I'm pissed, right? And the thing about that was that, like, because I was scared to be myself, I ended up in the wrong crowd. You get what I'm saying? And it happens a lot with young men growing up, is that, my son likes to skateboard. If he's in an environment where that's not cool, he's not going to want to do it. He's going to want to do other things that he see other kids doing. So my advice to boy moms today is to find environments to put your kid in to help foster the things that he actually enjoys. So if you live in a hood and your kid is into something that's not available in the hood, take him maybe 2 weekends a month somewhere where he can do the things he enjoys around other kids that enjoy that thing. Whether it's Avatar, Harry Potter, whatever it is.
Tennis.
Let him go meet some tennis, whatever it is. Let him go meet some friends and make some friends that are into the things that he's into. And that is going to strengthen his identity as far as is showing him that it's okay to like the shit that he likes. You know what I'm saying? So when he does go to school with a bunch of kids who might not be into it, he still feels strongly about it because he has a group of people that is into it. He doesn't feel like he's the only one. You know what I'm saying? So I think that would be very, very beneficial to our young guys. You know, take them around, put them in an environment with people that are like him and enjoy the same thing he's enjoyed. So that's all we got for today.
For sure. Been one. Using that group like, oh, fuck.
Shit was trash. And I never watched the shit after that either. There's no interest at all. Even when I saw the shit come on Cartoon Network that night, I was like, fuck being one. All right, man. If you're chasing anything in life, make sure you chase it full speed ahead, man. I'm talking about the plan. Decide, plan, sacrifice.
Shoot to shoot.
It's all God in the king.